Welcome to the new and improved Meet Houston Missions podcast. I'm your host, Paul Cannon, managing partner at Simmons and Fletcher. This podcast is about one thing, and that's connecting people who have a heart to volunteer with local missions that need people to volunteer. Anyone that's helping people in the greater Houston area is invited to be a guest. Today, our special guest on this is Tracey Brown, who is the executive director for an organization called Amazing Place Houston. I love the name, by the way, because Houston is an amazing place. So Tracey, welcome very much. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being on.
Oh, thank you, Paul, so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Tell us about Amazing Place Houston, what you guys do, what you're all about, all that good stuff.
So Amazing Place has been around for 27 years. We were founded at St. Luke's United Methodist Church many years ago when a minister to senior adults saw an increasing challenge as people with newly diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's really were struggling and their families were struggling. And so this was Reverend Dean Robertson, and he felt that there was something the church could do to provide support for those with dementia and also education and respite for their caregivers. So Amazing Place was born, started in 2 converted classrooms at St. Luke's, and then moved to its second location 2 years later. And at that point, Dr. Jim Moore, who was the senior pastor at St. Luke's, said, you know, this mission and ministry is much larger than our church. So I'm going to reach out. And he reached out, I think, to 12 different churches of other denominations and said, will you join us on this journey? And in 1998, it became a collaborative board of directors supported by, at that time, 12 different churches who govern the organization, provide the governance and oversight. And in the 27 years, we've grown significantly. We are now in our location at 3735 Drexel, where we have our state licensed day program for adults with mild to moderate dementia. And we have our connections program where we serve family caregivers with education, support groups, counseling, care consultation. Really, we support the family caregivers during this entire journey. We also, our mission is to empower lives disrupted by dementia and Alzheimer's. But we also are very keen on fostering brain health in our community. The statistics are quite overwhelming. At age 65, 1 in 9 adults have dementia.
Oh, wow.
By the time you get to 85, it's 1 out of 3. And what we know is the baby boomers, the largest generation ever to turn 65, will begin turning 85 in 8 years. So you will see an explosion of cases of dementia and Alzheimer's. So we are working very hard to continue to grow and provide excellent services to help not only those diagnosed, but also their families, and then educate the community on the things they can do individually and as a family to maintain a high level of brain health throughout their lives.
Wow. And so you indicated y'all do some education and you provide information and assistance to various caregivers. What all does that involve?
About 6 years ago, we brought a program here to Amazing Place called the Savvy Caregiver Education Program. And we deliver it in 3 different formats: a 6-week class, which is 2 hours every week for 6 weeks, a 3-week class, and then a Savvy Advanced, which is for people a little further along in the journey. We have a master trainer here who leads those classes and is very adept at helping families understand the changes that are going on in their loved one. My mom had dementia, and my sister and I both took the class. We both were caregiving for my mom, and it's just very interesting to bring families together to learn about their loved one and to understand that the changes and challenges they're facing, they aren't the person's fault. I mean, there are changes going on in their brain that they have different behaviors and different ways of acting that are often quite different from the way they were before dementia. So we help them understand, and we develop work with them to develop strategies to help at home so that both the person with dementia and the family have a really high quality of life and enjoy this time. And there's an understanding of what's happening.
Wow. Well, I can imagine there must be nothing more terrifying than forgetting who you are and not being able to remember your normal routines, your normal activities, things like that. But it's got to be equally as terrifying for the family members who are there on a day-to-day basis trying to help out and don't have training and don't have experience or understanding of this because they've never experienced it before. It's not something we learn in grade school. Be prepared for this. And yet all of us probably, at least 1 out of every 9 of us should be, right? It's kind of scary. If we have 4 parents, then we got a pretty good odds. At least one of them is going to get this issue before our lifetime ends and their lifetime ends. So it's kind of scary. It's great what you guys are doing out there. I was going to ask you a question. You guys are, how do you get your people that do the training? How do you get the employees, the volunteers, I don't know if they're volunteers or employees, but the people who are the boots on the ground, where do they come from?
That's a great question. We are a faith-based ministry and we're governed by churches. And I've always felt that God really understands how challenging this journey is. And he brings the most extraordinary people into this ministry to serve, whether they're staff members. We have a dynamic staff right now of about 36 people. We have a very strong volunteer corps that actually their hours in 2022 equated to 6.1 full-time employees. That's how much our volunteers impact what we are doing. So we find people from really all sorts of backgrounds. I mean, we have in our day program, we have a licensed clinical social worker on site. We have an RN on site during our opening hours, which are 7:30 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So we have a lot of very well-trained clinicians. And then we have a lot of people who have a heart for it and may have experienced it as a family member or their grandparents had it and they have an interest. And so they join and are passionate and help share, their wisdom with others. We really consider ourselves a relational ministry. This is challenging. And so we need to be able to relate to those with dementia and their families on a very deep level. So our team is, I can't brag on them enough. They're just extraordinary.
Yeah, it's amazing how God will put the right people in the right place when you just open the doors. Let me ask you a question. I know when I hear about some of these different ministries that are in the Houston area like yours, and I listen to them, my first instinct when I hear about it is, wow, I don't have the kind of training and experience to be somebody who can get involved in that and make an impact or make a difference. How can somebody who's thinking that right now, that they don't have training, they don't have experience, they don't have understanding of this, how can they be a part of a ministry like this?
Desire, willingness, compassion for people. We have a fantastic volunteer director who will really cultivate people's interests and place them in. We do extensive training with our volunteers. So the process is, first, our director will have a one-on-one interview and really learn about the person and why they're here, what they want to do. Then we have a 2.5-hour training where we train them quite a bit about dementia and about communication. And then we have so many different places they can serve. We have a wonderful kitchen, for example, and we follow this memory preservation nutrition program, cook everything from scratch every day and deliver a 3-course meal that is brain healthy to all of our participants, which is wonderful. So we have people who just love to do prep, so they'll serve in the kitchen. We have people who serve at our front desk, who work in our participant program, teaching art, leading an activity. Some people just like to visit, so they'll sit and visit with somebody who has dementia and learn about their life story. So lots of ways to volunteer. From a staff perspective, in the aging space, there are tremendous challenges right now in the workforce. And so we are often trying to encourage people to go into this work. With the aging population just growing by leaps and bounds. We're going to need a lot of good people in this field to take care of all of us, right? So we train people. I'm thinking about one of our staff members who came to us directly after college graduation and just had a passion. And that person is now a manager, has been with us, 8, 9 years, and has truly become a dementia expert.
Oh, wow. So what I'm hearing is it sounds like it doesn't matter if they're teenagers, adults, experienced, educated, uneducated, whatever. This is an organization that can find a place for anyone of any kind of background to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you mentioned teenager. I have to point out, we have a very special program. We've had it for 13 years, and it's called the STARS program. And STARS stands for Student Training in Alzheimer's and Respite over the summer. And we 16 to 22-year-olds, and we train them all about dementia and Alzheimer's. They serve in our program all during the summer and become wonderful advocates and passionate, and they take it home to their families, to their schools, to their community. And it's been just a real godsend. We have had many people go through the STARS program and end up changing their major in college,
Oh, wow.
decide, I want to go into this work. So that's very special. And we think that brain health should be something that is addressed throughout our lifetime. So we actually trained 11 of our 25 STARS this past summer on becoming certified as sort of a brain health expert, so they can teach their peers about brain health. Really exciting to see young people embrace this and understand the importance of it.
That's awesome. It sounds like it involves a little bit of training in everything from food prep to just to exercising the brain, huh?
Exercising the brain, the body, sleep, stress reduction. There are all sorts of things, but it was really fun to see the young people get excited about learning this, right? And then sharing it with others.
So if somebody wants to get involved with this organization, how do they reach out to you guys? How do they sign up?
So our phone number is 713-552-0420. Our website is amazingplacehouston.org, and our volunteer director is Susie Howard. She can be reached at showard@amazingplacehouston.org or through our phone line. I should mention, Paul, one of the exciting things that's happening at Amazing Place is we have been in a campaign for the last several years to raise the funds to build our second location, which will be called Amazing Place West, and it will be situated on 2 acres in the Katy area, just south of I-10 off Fry Road. So we are getting very close to breaking ground on our second location, and just gives us a new way to serve a much larger community within Houston.
Let me ask you that question about that specifically. What is y'all's vision? Specifically, what is your vision with Amazing Grace West and what it's going to accomplish?
So it will have all of the programs and services we deliver here at our Houston location, which is our day program for adults with mild to moderate dementia, all of our caregiver classes, our community education. All of those things will be in both locations.
Wonderful, wonderful. That'll give you the ability to serve an even greater area and have greater facilities for the services, correct?
No question. Our founder, Dean Robertson at St. Luke's, felt that eventually this ministry needed 4 locations to serve this huge greater Houston area. So on to number 2, and we're really excited about it.
Do you have any kind of fundraiser opportunities or events coming up that people can participate in or get involved in to help with that?
Yes. Well, 2 things. We have one large annual fundraiser. Ours is coming up on October 18th, and we are very excited this year. You may have heard, those of your listeners who are Netflix users may have noticed recently the new series that came out, Living to 100, Dan Buettner's Blue Zones. Well, Dan's son, Danny Buettner, who's an executive vice president in the Blue Zones Project, is going to be our speaker that evening. And we are so excited about, we are big fans of the Blue Zone. So Danny Butner will be speaking on October 18th. It is at the Revere on Old Katy Road, which is a wonderful venue. And anybody interested in buying a ticket or a table to that event can reach out to our development director. Her name is Ramsey Howell. She can be reached at our phone number, or her email is rhowell, HOWELL, at amazingplacehouston.org. And we're just so excited about it, and would love people to come and enjoy.
Well, that is awesome. I appreciate you taking the time to hop on here and just tell us about Amazing Place Houston and all the things you guys have going on. It sounds like y'all are busy.
We are. But Paul, it's been such a joy to visit with you, and we're so grateful for the opportunity to share.
Well, good deal. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that I didn't think to ask about Amazing Place Houston that you want to get out there before we end this call?
Our vision is to end the stigma of dementia.
Amen.
The stigma really stops people from, getting diagnosed and getting the help they need. And so just the ability for me to share, it helps eliminate that stigma. And we just hope we have people call us every day that just say, I think my mom might have dementia and I don't even know what to do. So if you think someone in your family is facing this and you need help navigating, just give us a call and we will help to the best of our ability.
That is awesome. And that phone number again?
713-552-0420.
Well, I can tell just from talking to you, you have a big heart to help in this mission, and you're in the right place to do it. It sounds like. Tracey, thank you so much for being on. Again, that's Tracey Brown from Amazing Place Houston. I'm Paul Cannon from Meet Houston Missions. I'm an attorney with Simmons and Fletcher, Christian trial lawyers. If you're a missions organization and need volunteers, people to help serve, get in touch with me. If it's the greater Houston area, get in touch with me. My number is 713-932-0777. My email is pcannon@simmonsandfletcher.com. We'd love to have you as a guest. No religious affiliation is required. So long as it is a mission about serving local people's basic needs, you're welcome here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate it.